Hey guys, I'm Bob from Totally Unique Life, and I'm here today to talk about insulating the inside of a double door in a shed. I've been insulating this shed now for a few days and not done. Actually about halfway done the inside walls. But one of the biggest areas is the doors, and I could go out and buy, insulated metal doors or some other option, but I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for, something more expensive. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a frame of 2x4s all across, down at the bottom, and then push the polypro foam board, which is what I've been using for my walls inside the studs. I'm going to actually push those in between the frame. Obviously cut it to fit and put them in between the frame, and hopefully it will stay there without a problem. But that's my plan. It's almost like putting the foam board in between the studs. So I have a bunch of very straight 2x4s here, 2x4x8s that I picked up at a local lumber yard, and I'm going to start cutting them and put up my frame, and then cut the foam board to fit inside the frame. But one thing I have to be concerned about is, this handle here, as well as this barrel bolt up here and a barrel bolt down there. One thing I'm fortunate about is that there is a frame outside, around the outside of the door, to hold up the 2x4s that are on the outside, so I can just secure the inside 2x4s into that outside frame. So I'm about ready to cut some 2x4s. Hey guys, so it's the next day, and I just finished the frame of the interior of the shed doors, and just used regular 2x4s, not pressure treated. I had to notch around a handle here. I had to notch around the actual handle that opens the door. I had to notch on either side. I had to notch here near the barrel bolt so that I allowed for the travel of the barrel bolt, which goes down this far. Everything else was just a basic frame of 2x4s. And so now all I'm going to do is cut 2 pieces of this Polypro insulation foam board, one to fit in this side and one to fit in this side, and then I should be done. So I'm just going to give a quick close-up of the frame. It's just basically 2x4s. I use 2.5 and 3 inch exterior screws to affix it. As you can see, I have a handle here. I just notched around it with a jigsaw. I have a handle here that actually opens the door, and I just notched around that with the same jigsaw. I have a barrel bolt down here, and I just went down to the top of the barrel bolt, and I had to notch around the barrel bolt here, and I did have to make sure I went down far enough, because this barrel bolt travels this far down. So that was a last minute change I had to make before I fixed the frame, and everything else is just 2x4s, straight premium pine 2x4s, and I actually like the feeling of it, because it adds some heft to the doors, and they seem stronger as a result. So let's go cut some foam board. Okay, so I just cut this Polypro foam insulation board. You can see it's 1 inch thick. I cut it so it'll fit right inside this frame here. So what I do is I usually cut it maybe 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch too wide and too long, because it does compress into, not the studs, but the frame in this case. So all I basically do is either start at the bottom or start at the top. I'll start at the top here and slide that in, and then I just basically just give some pressure. Just kind of push it in, and it's grabbing. And I do the same thing down here. And just push it in until it grabs the bottom. So there it is. It's basically in place right now. And that's all there is to it. So there's one. Now I'm going to go cut the other one. Okay, I just cut another piece to fit in this side, and just started putting it in. I'm just going to apply some pressure here and just push all the way down. A little bit of excess here, I'll just use my utility knife and cut that. But looks like it's fit. It's nice in there all the way around. Just will give it a little pressure. So if you ever consider insulating the inside of your shed, one of the most important aspects will be to add insulation to the inside of the doors, because it's one of the biggest surface areas that you could lose heat from or have cold air come in from the door. So I think this is something that any DIYer can do on their own. Just requires being able to use maybe a jigsaw if you have to do certain cuts like I did here. But if you have a chop saw or any type of saw to be able to cut the frame, you need a utility knife to cut out the foam board. I will have other videos showing how to cut the foam board, but it's pretty straightforward. And I'll include a link in the description of the utility knife that I use. I bought mine at Lowe's. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, leave them for me, and thanks for watching.